everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Klay County Historical and Arts Council's One-on-One with Klay County History. My name is Tess Thomas, CCHAC's media representative, and your guide through these conversations that bring our community to life. Each episode, we explore the stories, people, and events that shaped Klay County and continue to inspire our community today. Today, I have the great pleasure of having two guests, and they are Lisa Turner and Jerry Stadtmiller. Lisa and Jerry, thank you so much for having us today and taking the time to tell us a little bit about yourselves.
You're very welcome.
Let's just start out with you, Lisa. Can you tell us how you came to Klay County?
Yeah, we were in Florida, and there's a lake out over the back of through the backyard. You can see a lake with palm trees waving, and we were sitting at the table and saying, "This is perfect. Who could want more than this?" And Jerry said, "I want a seaplane, and it won't fit on the lake in front of us." So then I said, "Well, let's move, and we'll find a place with a seaplane-friendly lake." So, Lake Chateau.
Right.
And that's how we got here.
And so you just uprooted everything and moved to North Carolina.
We did.
That's great. I understand that you're an author, Lisa, and have written a few books. Can you tell me what inspired you to become an author?
When I was growing up, I was pretty conventional. I liked tools and mechanics, and my brother would work on mechanics, and I'd say, "I want to do that." And later, I decided to become a pilot because I looked up and happened to be living where we were close to the airport. So I would, this would be great. I'd love to get into an airplane. So I started taking lessons. I got through with my lessons, and I said, "How do I afford an airplane?" It's not possible. They were just too expensive. So one of my friends said, "Why don't you build an airplane?" And I said, "Oh, that's crazy."
Right.
Build an airplane. And then that grew on me, and I said, "Oh." So he took me to an air show, and there were booths there for kit planes.
Oh.
And this is back in the 90s. Long story short, I bought a kit plane, and I put it together in my garage. And I flew it to Maine and back from Florida. And I had to put the story to paper.
And that was your first book?
Yes.
So was that the book called Dream Take Flight?
Yes.
And can you show it to our audience and tell them a little bit about it and where they might find it?
Sure. You'll find it in the chamber and at the library, Moss Memorial Library. Okay. Also, if they want to buy it, Amazon is the place to go for it. It's not expensive, and you can get it in an e-file as well. But it was one of those things that has to get out. It every year it would nag at me because this was in the 90s.
Right.
And it took me 10 years for the book to grow and take shape. And I kept making notes. Every year I'd make notes. I'd say, I need to actually get this out there. And I think a lot of authors will tell you that particular story when they say, well, it just had to get birthed.
It just grabbed you. Yeah. So let me ask you, was it less expensive to do the kit than to just buy one already made?
Much less.
Yes, much less. Okay.
And a lot more fun.
Right, because you know all the pieces and parts, and you know if something does sound off, you know exactly where to look, right? Let's go ahead and talk about the next book you wrote. What was the second one?
I can't tell you exactly the order of them, but I will. One of the things that I wanted to do in Dream Take Flight was describe to people how they could do their own favorite project. What's the thing that they really love how do they know what direction to take with it? And then I got into the thinking about values, and that values will drive what's important to you. And I ended up putting together Your Simplest Life, which is a time management and I would say inspirational. It kind of says, hey, it's okay. You can do this, and here's how to do it.
Nice.
The actual instructions
Nice.
for how to, whatever it is. If it's building an airplane, if it's writing a book, if it's giving a speech, whatever it is, you can do it.
And then the third book?
And I have a total of 7 books, but I think this, in some ways, this book about Jerry is the best book because it describes something. All these other ones says, well, this is what I've experienced. And Jerry's book talks about how he brought airplanes to life and inspired people at the same time. And it's just amazing.
It sounds like all 3 of them are very inspirational. So how do your books reflect your life experiences or the community around you?
If you can connect inspiration with community and have people understand they can be appreciated for every, whatever, how small it is, thing that they do, that's really important. And I think that's a function of community, and it's a function of, certainly we write books because we're hoping to inspire other people and bring something to them, and community does that as well.
Absolutely, I agree. What was the first story or idea that made you say, I gotta write this down? Was it that first book?
It was the flying. It was building the airplane and flying, because no one believed me.
Right. I would imagine.
Wait a minute, it's 1996. You did not.
How long did it take you to build the airplane altogether?
It was a year and a half.
Oh my gosh, that's fast.
Yeah, it was, and I was working a full-time job.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
But I was single, so at that time, so that helped.
How do you approach the research part of the storytelling?
It's really important to have things be accurate. So I spend a lot of time when I write verifying. I also write articles for Sport Aviation and kit planes. And it's really important to get things right here. So kit planes.
Okay, nice.
And Sport Aviation. So the research I do for those is similar to what I do for the book. So you want to make sure when someone's reading, it needs to be authentic for them. It needs to be accurate.
What do you hope your readers take away from your work? Inspiration.
Yeah, and just realizing it doesn't matter what your contribution is, however small or however large. It's just that it's the contribution that makes a difference. And that everybody can make a contribution.
And just knowing, yes, you can. Yeah. How has living and working in Klay County influenced your writing at all? Or has it at all?
The community has given me a lot. At the newspaper, they told me I could write articles, how-to articles, because one of my books is how to take care of your house and all the little tips and tricks for taking care of your house and cleaning and decluttering and downsizing. And so I started writing articles for the newspaper, and they were so appreciative. And then I got to give talks at the library, and I would hang out at the chamber. And so the community gave all that love back to me, and that just fostered more community giving.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I believe that when you're talking about the house, is also at the chamber, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
What's
the name of that? House Keys.
House Keys, yeah.
I couldn't remember. Thank you. Can you talk about any challenge that you faced as an author, and how did you overcome it?
each of us who writes, we're going to have a different set of problems. Many writers will say, well, I couldn't get things developed enough to get them out on paper. That's one, and the other is questioning yourself and saying, do people really care about what I'm doing? And those are challenges, I think, for me, but also for other authors, I think, will identify with. How do you get that creative juice flowing enough to actually have something come out?
And not listen to the doubts that come up or people's negative comments or you can't do that, you know. Have you faced any of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
what's your major comeback when people say, no, you can't?
Well, I think you need to persevere.
Yeah.
I keep on. And the other thing I tell people is when we talk about history and community, getting people to tell their story is really important. And you can go up to anybody. This is a great thing to do when you're at family get-togethers, is say, hey, can you sit down with me for a minute? I have some questions. And when you start asking people about their past and what's important to them, it flows right out.
Yeah.
So it's great to write about that because those historical things are a contribution to the community.
I believe you're right. It's really important to capture that family history, and especially any of your descendants are going to just be amazed, you know, when they tell their friends, well, my mom or my grandmother built a plane, you know. So I think that's amazing that you've gotten it written down in books. Are there any upcoming projects you're excited to share with us today?
Well, I have a list of things, an ongoing list of things I want to do, and poetry probably be next.
That would be great.
And yeah, I have a list of ideas that I think will evolve.
Can't wait to see that. What's the advice you would give to a writer that is trying to decide if they can write a book? What would you give them for advice on how to get started?
I'd sit down with a piece of paper and an hour of quiet time and see what happens.
Do you do that with some of your books? Just creative writing kind of thing where you just write whatever comes to mind?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
You have to go back later and maybe get it in the right order or do some editing. But
Yes. And sometimes early in the morning, or those times you wake up in the middle of the night and go,
I forgot about
that. So I mean, some of those brainstorms, it's true. They come at night when you wake up,
right,
in the shower, and so write it down.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that stuff with us. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd like to make sure we speak about today?
Well, we may talk about this later, but one of the inspirations for Jerry's book was, ever since I met Jerry, I kept saying, oh, the Stadtmiller Guide to Business. All these little things. I have to start writing these down. It's remarkable. And that book took even longer to get out than The Dream Take Flight. And it was really tough because I wanted to do it justice. And I just didn't know how to do that. It was just, to me, for other writers, they'll identify with us. It was insurmountable for me. I said, I'm not going to be able to do that. So you wait, and you say, yes, okay. And you wait for some of that inspiration to come, and you start writing it down. So I started to write the stories down and do interviews with Jerry. And then that kind of kicked it into high gear. But it took a long time.
So before we get into questioning Jerry or picking his brain, can you just tell us how you guys even met?
I had built this airplane, the Pulsar, which was a composite airplane. It's the one behind us here. It's that one there.
The white with blue.
Mm-hmm. I said, this was so much fun building. I want to do another airplane. So but I can't afford to have 2 airplanes. So I'll sell this one and I'll build something completely different, like a tube and fabric airplane. And I decided to do that. So I got part of the kit and I realized I knew nothing about tube and fabric construction. And this is where you actually put fabric on the structure. I knew nothing about it. I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to go learn. So I found a workshop that was in Lakeland, which was a good haul. It was, 2 or 3 hours up the road. I signed up for it, and I went to this workshop. And I met the instructor.
Met and fell in love with
Jerry. And I said, so then I said, I have this airplane, and I'm just not sure where to start. And he said, well, where do you live? And I said, well, Boynton Beach, Florida. And he said, well, I'm just down the road.
Oh, so the class was far away, but you actually lived just near each other.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
He said, I'd be happy to show you some tricks. So it was great. It was just that's how we met.
And Jerry, tell us how that went from instructor to a relationship.
Well, Lisa showed up, and she was pretty enthusiastic, which I liked a lot. And as we got to know each other, I realized that we're pretty much on the same page with most everything.
Oh, that's great.
Which is rare.
Yes.
And I showed her fabric work, and I had to go on a trip, and she stayed there and did a bunch of fabric work, and when I got back, it was just gorgeous.
Oh, so you had taught her well, and she did a good job.
Beautifully done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about some of what you restore antique airplanes, correct? Yes. So what first sparked your interest in antique airplanes?
Okay. When I was in my teens, I got a job at the local airport as a line boy, which I didn't even know what was.
I was just going to ask you what that is.
A line boy is the guy that gasses the airplanes, keeps the windshields clean, keeps the grease off the bellies, and so forth.
Okay.
And I majored in aviation in high school, and the teacher said there's a job available at the airport as a line boy. I said, great. But what's a line boy? So he explained to me, and I said, you get to touch real airplanes?
Right.
Well, there were some vintage airplanes in the hangar at that time. And I just love vintage airplanes because of the history involved.
Yeah.
We have an airplane in the hangar now that's called a Waco. It's spelled like the town in Texas, but pronounced Waco, not Waco.
Okay.
1931. Now,
I'm excited to tell you guys, and when we get done with our question and answer session, we're going to take a tour of the hangar and let you guys see some stuff going on in real time. So I'm excited to show you that.
And if that airplane could talk,
right?
If that airplane could talk, tell you the history of 1931 and the fact that it survived. Because there are many, many years when that airplane was not valuable in any way, shape, or form. They just trashed them by the thousands because there's so many, particularly after World War II. And we have restored airplanes from World War area trainers, and they have quite a history as well. Who flew them? I had one of my employees sit in the cockpit of one we finished, and I said to her, somebody sat in this cockpit who actually flew combat during World War II and maybe did not survive.
Right.
And it was a very emotional moment, and both of us realized the history of that airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you go from line boy to actually get started in restoring them?
I saved up money and went to an aviation school called Riddle that was in Miami at that time. It was an 18-month course, and that allowed me to get my airframe and power plant mechanics rating, A&P it's called.
Okay.
And with that, I got jobs at the local airport doing maintenance. And in 1983, I accidentally started the business by a guy coming by, and I was restoring an airplane for myself. And he said, "You know how to do this fabric stuff?" I said, "Oh yeah." So it started. And then one of the guys came by and said he would like to own a airplane called a Tiger Moth. He was an original pilot that flew during World War II for Australia, and he learned to fly in a Tiger Moth.
Wow.
So I said, mainly offhandedly, "Well, go ahead and buy one that needs restoration, and I'll restore it for you." And he said, "Oh, okay, I will." And I thought,
Not thinking anything was going to come of
not thinking
it.
anything of it. And several weeks later, it showed up.
Wow.
So I restored it, and that's how it started.
So, did you learn how the whole fabric part of it in majoring in what did you say you majored in?
Aviation.
Aviation. So,
Yeah,
did you learn the?
aviation mechanics?
Okay, so in majoring in aviation mechanics, did that entail the fabric part?
At that time, fabric was normal.
Okay.
Now you say fabric, and the mechanic look at you like you're speaking a foreign language.
Right.
And they say fabric on airplanes. I've had the FAA people who visited here say fabric on airplanes. Yes. It used to be long fiber gypsum cotton. During World War II, the fighters and the bombers, the airplane that dropped the atomic bomb, the B-29, had fabric control surfaces, and they were cotton control surfaces. That airplane had cotton on it.
What do you put on top of the cotton?
Okay, when it's cotton, you use a product called dope, okay, which is a filler which is designed to shrink and tighten the fabric.
Okay.
The process we use now is a polyester fabric. It's actually Dacron, and it's certified for aircraft. And the cotton would last 12, 14 years and had to be recovered. This is a 35-year plus fabric.
Oh wow. And what do you put on the?
It's actually a liquid vinyl,
Oh wow.
and it does not burn. Dope burns. You see pictures of World War I airplanes going down in flames.
Yeah.
The Hindenburg is a classic example. All of that fire was the fabric, the dope on the fabric.
And now this polyester doesn't.
It'll melt, but it does not support combustion, which is a plus.
Can you tell us the most challenging restoration project you've worked on?
Probably the most recent was a Waco cabin, which is a picture on the wall of it. 1937, I think. Waco cabin.
Four-place.
It's a four-place cabin by
It's big.
What do you mean 4 place? 4 seats?
4 seats.
4 people? Okay.
Four enclosed in the cabin. Yes. The guy who purchased it from an estate, and it was totally disassembled.
Oh my gosh.
And he sent all the pieces, and he said, "I want you to put the airplane together." And we said, "Oh, okay. Well, what does it look like?"
What plane is this? Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to do a lot of research and a lot of digging and so forth. And there were some drawings available for it, but not a lot. And we ended up restoring it for him. And it went to the world's largest air show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin
Wow.
in 2025 and won an award as the best cabin.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were
So did all the pieces that he sent you was everything included, or did you have to do some
we
ordering?
had to manufacture some stuff, but
Okay.
nothing. These older airplanes are mainly hand built anyway.
Okay.
So the wings were all wood, fabric covered, and we built the wings from scratch.
So it probably goes without saying that the fabric airplanes have a lot less weight than today's airplanes. Is that right?
Pretty much so, yes. But it's so labor intensive
Oh.
that only a few fabric airplanes are manufactured today because of the labor intensity involved and the money people get as opposed to in the 30s when they're working for a couple of dollars a day kind
Sure.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wages got to be like
Yeah.
50 times higher or something.
Yeah.
What does the restoration process actually look like from start to finish?
Okay, usually when we get the airplane, it appears that the owner is on the way to the dump with it. What it looks like.
Yeah.
And we continue to take it down to the bare frame, inspect all the structure, replace any structure that's corroded or damaged, and start inspecting pieces, cleaning them, painting them, and installing them.
So where do you start first? Putting together the frame or the
We
wheels?
generally start with the wings because they're easier to store.
Okay.
When the wings are finished, ready for paint, then we'll do the fuselage or the cabin area. And when that's painted and finished, we paint the wings and install them so we don't have to store them after they're painted.
So when does the motor get put in there?
Anytime after the fuselage is finished.
So, okay,
Or the
wings
body
and
of the
store
airplane.
them, fuselage, then put the motor in it,
Right,
and then you can put your wings on.
yes.
What a process.
Yeah.
I would love to watch it. We should make a video start to finish.
It
It would take a long time.
It'd
But
take a while. Yeah, exactly.
so, which one of those restoration projects have been your proudest?
Probably the one that's in the Smithsonian. We did a Grumman goose. I participated in the restoration of a Grumman goose that is in the Smithsonian now. It's a twin-engine amphibious aircraft. And I did the fabric and engines for it. And a company called Bueller Aviation Research was doing it as a gift to the Smithsonian. And they hired me to do all of the fabric and the engines for it. That's the one we're the most proud of.
Yeah, what a feather in your cap,
In the
right?
Smithsonian, yeah, exactly, big time.
So how do you balance the history, like preserving the history, with making the aircraft flight ready?
Okay, number one is safety. Okay, some of the old aircraft, the brake systems are not good. And they grab and they will end up damaging the airplane. So we go to modern brake systems with it, and a lot of them, like the early trainers, did not have electrical systems. So they used to actually hand prop the airplane.
Where you had to push the propeller?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we put starters and electrical systems in them to upgrade them. But the paint jobs and the instruments are all original overhaul.
How in the world would you find original instruments?
There are still a lot of original instruments around.
No kidding.
Yeah. Finding places to overhaul those instruments is the problem. Yeah.
Right.
But we found several places that enjoy doing that.
What do you hope people feel when they see one of your
I
restored
want them
planes?
to look at history. This airplane, if it could talk, what would it tell you? And I enjoy people who know to go around and look at the quality of the work. And it means a lot to me when they are positive after looking at it.
So, in your restoration of antique aircraft, what's the oldest one you restored and the most recent one you restored?
Okay, the oldest one restored is called a Fleet.
Okay.
The owner of the company's last name was Fleet. So when you say Fleet, people think of a fleet of airplanes.
Right.
But the airplane's called a Fleet. And we restored that. It ended up being a 6-year restoration due to engine problems. And
What year was that?
that was, 5 years ago?
The airplane itself? That was
1930.
1930?
1930. Fleet, yes. 1930.
And then the most recent of the antique.
The most recent...
Not the most recent in the calendar right now. The oldest of the antique.
Yeah, the oldest and the newest. Okay.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. The newest is all the way, really old, 1950.
Wow.
Called a Super Cub.
Super Cub.
We did 2 of those 1950s. One's in the shop right now. Yeah.
You're talking about the fleet. Have you ever read the Richard Bach book called Illusions?
Oh yeah.
I love that book. I've read it. I bet you I can't count on 2 hands how many times I've read it. But it's talking about that fleet and it's talking about dope and it took me a while to realize what all it was
The
actually
interesting
talking
thing
about.
with the Fleet is the owner did not want to restore it until he found an engine. He found a fresh overhauled engine that he paid $33,000 for,
Wow.
and it looked gorgeous. The logbook entry was professional. It was easy to read. All the dimensions were in there for the overhaul. I was very impressed.
Wow.
But it had not been run. The engine overhauler should run it on a test stand and certify it for flight. It had not been run. So I said to the owner, if we have a problem with this engine, I don't want to hear anything about what did we do to the engine.
Right, because it did not have that certification.
Was not run.
Yeah.
We ran it for about 4 hours and it came apart. And the overhaul was total junk.
Oh no.
So the owner had another engine that we thought was a boat anchor. And we got into it and the measurements and everything were beautiful. Somebody had preserved it for all those years. We sent it off to get it overhauled to someone else, of course. And that person kept it 3 years and didn't touch it. So it took away from him and sent it to somebody else.
I don't blame you there.
Yeah, took away from him, sent it to somebody else. And that other person overhauled it, ran it, did a good job, sent it back to us. We installed it on the airplane and took that much dust off the airplane because it's been sitting here all that while. Certified it and called the owner. He came and did the test flight for it. Took a bunch of people for a flight and was one happy camper.
I'll bet.
He started home. He landed at where was that? Just south of and anyhow, an airport with dual runways. One grass, one runway was paved. He landed on the grass runway, which the airplane used to, lost control of it, dumped the canal and wrecked it.
Oh my God!
On his way home.
Heartbreaking. So he thought he would be original and land on the grass just because that's what the plane was used to, but he wasn't used to it.
Yeah, he hit a puddle. It had just been rain. There was a puddle, and he lost it.
Oh, how sickening!
So he was so upset. He left it. He walked up. There's a museum on the field, and he said to the guy, "You want a fleet? Drag it out of the canal, and it's yours." He gave it to them.
Oh, darn it! What a shame. So how long did he end up waiting? If it sat the other one for a year and a half, how long did it take the second guy to fix the motor?
It's in the museum now.
No, but I mean, how long?
It's not flying, I don't think, right?
I'm saying, so the first guy didn't touch it for 3 years.
Oh, the engine you're talking about.
How long did it take the second guy to do the
Oh,
engine?
it got about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years was really extreme.
Oh yeah, he just wasn't working on it. Yeah.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah,
But at least the museum got it. Hopefully they were able to
museum got it, and it's in the museum today.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to talk to us about today that we haven't touched on?
Not that I can think of.
All right, we just got a couple more questions. Jerry, how do you think your different creative paths connect between the two of you?
Well, the fact that we're both aviation people was the glue to start with.
Right.
And to find a lady that was involved in aviation seriously is rare.
Very rare, I imagine.
And to find one that is that involved, as Lisa is, that has a pilot's license and has a aircraft certified mechanic's license as well, is even more rare.
Right.
So that's a real close bond. Plus, believe it or not, we get along.
That's great. Lisa, what do you love most about being part of Klay County community?
It's the encouragement and the inspiration that we all give each other. So you go into, I mean, any one of the events, and the people are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes you feel even more inspired after you talk to the people in our community.
Yeah, that positive feedback gives you more incentive to move forward and do something else. Yeah. Jerry, how has your work helped preserve the pieces of the past for future generations?
Well, when we get a vintage airplane and we restore it to original, it's very valuable. And unlike it used to be, people would store them outside and tie down in the rain, sun, everything else. They're not treated that way anymore because of their value.
Right.
So the fact that they're stored inside all the time, I told the owner, you look at this airplane, It's wood and fabric. The same thing your couch is made out of. Would you sit your couch out on the ramp in the sun?
Right.
No, of course not.
Right.
You don't do that with your airplane.
And Lisa, what do you hope your readers remember most about your books?
I hope to give people the confidence to launch out on something that they think might be unusual, that they'd like to do.
Give them the confidence to actually get out there and do
To
it.
say, hey, yes, you can do it. Give it a shot.
Okay, the airplane we're the most proud of course, is this one here. It's called a Grumman Goose, and it's at the Smithsonian at this time. And that's a letter from the Smithsonian of appreciation from the curator of the museum. Working down this way, this airplane is called a Stearman. It was a World War II trainer. This one was built in 1937. And it was brought to us by a cousin of the owner, original owner. It was surplused in 1947 in Montoursville, Pennsylvania. And the owner was named Jess Hackenberg. And a cousin, John Hackenberg, purchased it, brought it to us, and it looked like he's on the way to the dump with it. And that's restored in original colors. The owner went to the Bureau of Standards in Washington and brought us paint chips, so we matched them. So everything on that, and that's the original numbers it had when it was in the service. Yeah. This is a Super Cub we've done, PA-18. Another Stearman. This one, this one, this one, this one are all the same airplanes with different paint schemes. The Army Stearmans were blue fuselages and yellow wings. The Navy were all yellow. These were primary trainers. They put kids in that were 18, 19 years old with the flight instructor in the front seat. Most biplanes are flown from the rear seat. And they expected them to fly the airplane solo in 8 hours of duel.
Wow.
If they couldn't do it in 8 hours of duel, and the instructor felt that they were really trying hard and they would be capable, they let them go as far as 12. At 12 hours, if you couldn't make it, you're back to digging foxholes. So that is quite an incentive to learn. Big time incentive. Okay, this airplane is a Waco 1931 F2, the same as the one that you'll see downstairs we are restoring. This, in the picture of this is the fleet that I described that the owner wrecked on his way home. This is a Christian Eagle. It's a kit airplane. The owner put it together and we did the fabric and the painting on it. 7 different colors on the wings. The masking was 106 hours. The painting was 99 hours on that. This is a Cessna 120 that I used. If you notice, all these airplanes are tailwheel airplanes. All the conventional airplanes now are tricycle airplanes. If you ever took a child's tricycle and try to move it backwards, it goes crazy. That's mainly a tailwheel airplane.
Okay.
You take it and you go forward with it, it wants to go straight by itself. That's a nose wheel airplane. So anyone who wants to fly one of these legally needs a checkout in a tailwheel airplane by a flight instructor. And I did that for years with this airplane. This airplane was built in 1931. It's called a Waco. Spelled like the town in Texas, but pronounced Waco, not Waco. Central Freezer Aircraft Company. And the owner brought it to us. It was a crop duster, and we're converting it back to the way it came from the factory. It was a bare frame up restoration. Every part, we just had a frame, a tuber. You can see some of the tubing here. This is all fabric. When the airplane was built in 1931, this was cotton fabric. About the same consistency of a bed sheet, but a lot stronger. And we use a more modern fabric called polyester fabric. And that's what this is. This lasts years longer than the cotton.
Looks like this still has some instrumentation to get put in there,
Yeah,
huh?
it does. And if most biplanes are soloed from the rear seat, and this will be the pilot seat, and we have a custom panel in there that my guys did from pictures. Move over so you get into the, there we go. Good.
Wow.
And
Very cool.
those are original instruments.
So pretty. You gonna show us around the shop a little?
Say again?
Would you like to show us around the shop a little?
Sure. Okay.
Tell us where the magic happens?
For the magic happens, okay? We are in the process of assembling this. All the tail circles are been painted. As you'll note, we have the numbers on the rudder, and if you look at contemporary airplanes, they do not have a C. When the FAA, when it originally was the CAA, it became the FAA, they dropped the C. But on vintage airplanes, we can put the original numbers back in. And this is what the number came from the factory in 1931. And these are the wings for it. These are in the state. It looks gray, we call it silver. The only thing that affects this fabric is ultraviolet. Nothing else affects it. Where the cotton is a natural fabric, and it would rot from moisture and so forth. So we put this silver on to fill it and to protect it from the sunlight. So this will last 35 to 40 years as opposed to the cotton at 12, 15 years.
Tell us about that little cub over there.
That's the cub? That's what it is, okay.
It's got its name right on it. That's how I
does.
knew.
That's how
Were
knew,
you
right.
impressed?
Exactly. This is a 1946 Piper J3 Cub, and this was damaged on landing. The owner lost control of it and put it on his back. You can see we are repairing the rudder. This is all caved in at that time. So we welded all this tubing back in it, and we'll blast it, prime it, and then repair the fabric so it will not look repaired ever.
And you said this is your
That's the paint booth.
paint booth.
Yep. I can turn the lights on for inside.
I don't really want to go in if you got fresh paint in there.
No, there's nothing in there. We're in the process of painting. Those are all primed at this time. Those are wing lip struts. I go into the workshop.
Okay. I'm gonna follow you.
Okay. And here is a rudder for a Stearman. It's a steel frame. This was all media blasted, primed with epoxy primer, and it's ready to put fabric on it this time.
So the fabric goes right around the metal.
Yep. Both sides, piece of fabric on both sides, and then it gets rib laced. I'll show you the rib lacing.
Okay. So cool.
Yep. modern airplane. This is 1950. It's called a Super Cub. The owner has owned the airplane for many years. It was disassembled around 1993 or 4, and the owner was waiting for his son to grow up so they could restore it themselves. And his son grew up and he's not interested.
Oh, darn it.
So they sent us the airplane and we're in the process of restoring it to its original. This original paint colored red and white is what it will look like when it came from the factory. This is another wing panel. We use the word wing, but it's not. It's a wing panel. It's part of a wing. It happens to be the right-hand side. The wing is the entire from tip to tip. This is masking tape on there because this all has to be sanded. And the tape is to show you where not to sand. So
Because of striping or something that's going to be put on there?
there's rib lacing on here.
Oh, that's the rib lacing you were going to
Yeah.
show me. I see.
See it here?
Yep.
We take a needle about that long, go through the rib, back up the other side, and tie a knot. The knot is called a seine knot for a fishing seine. And when they teach the guys that knot, or the girls, they say this is not a seine knot, this is an insane knot. Yeah. Now what is inside, the wings are all wood. This is a wing rib. Right here is this.
I see.
These are all built by hand in a fixture, which we have right there. And when we lace it, the needle goes all the way through, wraps around, comes back up the other side, and then that knot side, every 2 inches.
Oh my gosh.
So you can see how labor intensive it is to go every 2 inches
Yes.
with that.
Absolutely labor intensive.
Several years back, I purchased a project for my wife and I to fly to air shows with it. It was called Another Waco. And I found it in Pennsylvania, and that's what I bought.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that's the body of the plane where
That's
the
the body.
what do you call it?
Fuselage.
Fuselage. Thank you. I'd want to use the right
A lot of those
terminology.
are French words. Fuselage, empennage, and so forth are French words. The Wright brothers invented the airplane, but the French developed it.
Okay.
That's where the names come from.
I see.
Now, here it is, finished.
Oh! That's one you guys did together?
Yep,
That's amazing.
yep, there it is, finished.
Oh, how long did it take you?
5 years part-time.
Yeah.
Weekends.
Weekends.
So hair over 5,000 hours.
Wow.
Yep,
Amazing.
yep. And you can see here, see the wings are wood as I was describing.
Okay, yeah. That's before this gets put on the
Yeah,
silver.
before the fabric was covered. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
And so unique. I don't know that there's anyone else doing this around here, is there?
Not around here. Not that I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jerry. We really appreciate the
You're very
tour.
welcome. I hope you enjoyed the tour.
I did. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Lisa, Jerry, thank you so much for being a part of our video series and for having us today and telling us your story. We really appreciate you.
You're very welcome.
I want to thank you all for joining us for One-on-One with Klay County History, presented by the Klay County Historical and Arts Council. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and gained a deeper appreciation for the stories that make our community unique. If you'd like to be featured in one of our video series, email me at cchacHazeville@outlook.com. And we are in the middle of a naming process for the next tab of our video series is going to be something about people that have moved to Klay County but aren't from here generationally. And we're looking for names to call it maybe Klay County Transplants or Welcome to Klay County, or you give us some ideas, okay? I'll be throwing up a poll on social media. So we hope to hear from you on that. If you'd like to learn more, visit our website at clayhistoryartsnc.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. This episode has been made possible by a grant from Granny's Attic Thrift Store here in Hayesville, North Carolina, and from a grassroots grant from the North Carolina Arts Council, a department of the Natural and Cultural Resources, a state agency. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep honoring the history that makes Klay County so special. We'll see you next time.